All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now, and we have the one and only, we have the ever so talented alien Matt Kitty live on the line from California. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I gotta say, it's an absolute honor to have you on my radio station airwaves, all the way from the West Coast right down here to the East Coast of Canada. It's phenomenal how technology works and how we could actually conduct this interview this day and age.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I'm thankful to be here. I appreciate you having me. Shout out to Brain for reaching out and making this happen. I'm excited.
And I gotta ask you, because I know you're a very, very busy individual, so I'm just gonna dive right into this, but I have to ask you, what actually inspired you to get into the music industry initially?
I'm an artist, so I started off with painting and making merchandise, but my parents actually did music. My father is from the Bay Area, San Francisco. He's a well-known pioneer from the Bay, rap pioneer from the Bay. He went by the name of CoughNut, and my mom, she could sing. So it music has always been something that's been influenced in my life. But I mean, for 2018, 19, I just kind of wanted to try it because I was getting kind of bored with what's on the radio. And I was like, you know what, the way it's working and how people are just kind of blowing up, I might as well give it a try to put my own little fingerprint out there. So I'm here.
And I have to ask as well, is there anything you actually learned from your father back in the day that actually carried on with you into your musical career?
Oh yeah, just being yourself. Like, he was always himself. He was a very dominant person, and he was fearless. So I feel like that's really in me. My mom and my dad were both fearless people, but my dad really he went for everything that he wanted, whether it was sports or music. He was just himself, and he perfected his craft and just kept pushing. So yeah, definitely he's a big inspiration in how I carry myself and just being confidently myself into this.
And also as well, on April 12th of 2020, you actually released a single titled I Go. I was wondering, what is the creative process behind that phenomenal masterpiece? And of course, where can we actually buy or stream ourselves a copy of that single today?
It's available on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, Tidal, Spotify, SoundCloud. That song was actually produced by a producer that goes by the name of Nicotine. We actually go back from high school, and he's always been ahead of his time with this sound. He reminds me of Pharrell and Timbaland back in the day. So he sent me this pack, and I sat on it, and I finally just gave it a listen. And Missy Elliott is a big inspiration to me as well. I grew up in that era, and I just listened to it, and I'm like, you know what? I love Bay Area, Mac Dre, because that's where I was born in San Francisco. And I'm like, how can I incorporate myself on this song, talking about spirituality and just who I am in a fun way? And I just I left it, came back to it, wrote a little bit, came back to it, and I came up with the hook. And I'm like, I'm trying to get it, but I can't. I want something repetitive and fun. And my boyfriend was like, how about you do it this way? And he kind of came with the little tune that went with the hook, and then it just all came together. So, yeah.
And I gotta ask as well, because you have such a unique name. There's in the music industry nowadays. There's so many littles, and you know what I mean. Everyone almost has kind of similar names, but yours stands out so perfectly. And I gotta ask this: how did you actually acquire your name, Alien Matt Kitty?
Alien Matt Kitty, it stems from, let's see. I used to go by just Matt Kitty. And then before that, my nickname growing up in high school was Mac Raya. And the Mac comes from Mac Dre. I'm a really big Mac Dre fan. I love Mac Dre. So the Kitty came from Hello Kitty, because I used to love Hello Kitty back in the day. So when I was doing the Mac Kitty, it was cool. And then I was like, you know what? I changed my name back to just Mariah. I was getting back to, okay, let's go with Mariah, embrace my full name. And then I said, you know what? I want to revamp Mac Kitty and bring Mac Kitty back, but I want to incorporate all of the higher power knowledge that I've acquired in this journey, and let's put a spin on it. I love aliens. I believe that I'm an alien, and I slapped that on there, and then it just kind of came together. But I thought Alien Matt Kitty, saying it out was just so long, so it didn't want me to, when I registered my song, I was like, okay, what am I going to register it? Yeah, Alien Matt Kitty is kind of long for people to type out. I said, you know what? AMK. I can always abbreviate it and still keep the Alien Matt Kitty. So, and AMK is cute. It's short and sweet. So, yeah.
And I gotta say, it most definitely is a very creative name. And when you said Mac Dre, I have to say I'm a huge fan of Mac Dre myself. You can never go wrong. You can never go wrong with Thizzle Washington, man. That album is my absolute jam.
Yeah, Mac Dre definitely is an influence for me because of all of his different names. I never seen anything like it. Like the fact that he could be anyone, like Thizzle Washington, Ronald Reagan, Mr. Albubu, the Genie of the Lamp, and so Busy Marley, so many. I was like, I was in love. And then he will also like dress up and, you know, become his different personalities and alter ego. So yeah, I've definitely influenced it, and it was fun. He's still fun, you know. Long live Mac Dre. I love Mac Dre.
Most definitely. I gotta say, you know, his music still lives on today, you know what I mean? It's sad what happened back in 2004, but
yeah.
when you slide in a Mac Dre CD, it almost feels like he's still here in this world with us today.
Mhm. Biz will never die. Burley goes forever. Seriously.
And also, as well, as you already know, we got connected through an individual on Instagram named Brain Camping. I was wondering, how did yourself and him get connected? And of course, what is it like having an amazing manager like him?
Brain is actually, we got connected through Instagram. And it's one of those things where, like, I used to go on live all the time. And I'm always one of those types of people that I'm super vulnerable. I like to sometimes just engage with my followers on Instagram. And I remember, like, we would just, you know, there would be Q&A questions I would ask, and we just vibed out. And he also was a fan of my music as well as my father's, and just he's an overall music appreciator. So he and his wife, they supported and bought clothing. They came out to one of my showcases last year, I believe, or unless it was the year before last, 2020, just went blank in my mind. But he came out, and he was super kind and nice, and he actually is working on a compilation. So he reached out to me and wanted me to contribute to that, and then we were kind of talking about how I wanted to get out there in the radio interviews and stuff, and he made that connection. So I really appreciate people that are just on it and are just excited to do it and appreciate music. So definitely, he's a good person.
And as well, going back to when you said he's a music appreciator, I actually seen some of this man's record and CD collection. I gotta say, I don't even know how he finds half of these iconic records, man. Like, I've been looking for those things for years, but, you know, he happens to have, like, the shelves of them, man. So, you know what? If he's listening, man, share that secret with me.
Yeah. He's definitely a super dope person, on top of, like, just kind of reaching out, and, like, he kind of has some insight with, you know, music and just certain things, and it's just a good thing to have, especially when, like I said, somebody appreciates music. They want the best for you, and I truly appreciate him for that.
And also, as well, you're actually associated with an artist by the name of Reckless. I actually ended up watching your album review that you did on him, which is very informative, actually. It actually made me want to go listen to that record, but I was wondering, how did yourself and Reckless get connected? And of course, do you guys have any future projects currently in the works?
Reckless and I connected on Instagram as well. It was I think during quarantine, maybe, or a little bit before that. I posted something saying I'll give reviews on music if people were down to, like, submit music for me to give an honest critique or feedback. And he was one of those people that reached out, and he is another good, kind person. With the criticism that I gave him, he was super open. He sent me a physical copy of his Cowboy Bebop CD, and I just love the way, like, the cover looks and everything. We don't have anything, any collaborations happening in the future, but I'm always open to work with people. So yeah, he's a super dope artist, and I just really appreciated his sound.
And I also saw on Instagram that you actually have your own clothing line titled Not Today Bitch. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about your apparel. And of course, where can we actually snag ourselves some of your amazing merch today?
Yeah, so I have my clothing line is called ISM. ISM. It stands for I of Mariah. All of my clothing items are listed on my husband's brand, which is our house name, which is goodgreed.art. It has so many different varieties of graphic tees. We have sweatshorts. My son's line, Stress Level Zero, is also listed there. The shirt, Not Today Bitch, was inspired to repel bad vibes. Sometimes I feel like clothes, oh no, not sometimes. Clothes are supposed to be expressive. So I wanted a shirt that said it right there. So if anybody wants to bring it to me, it's just going to be repelled right then and there. Not today, bitch. So that's one of my designs. My boyfriend makes his own, like, from scratch, all these different graphics, and Good Greed overall represents a higher purpose, basically being greedy for the right reasons, to give back to your people. And it's a universal brand. It's all about positive affirmations because we're a very spiritual household. And, yeah, we just want to, incorporate good vibes and good energy in different unique styles that can relate to people however they see it.
And I gotta say, it's most definitely a phenomenal clothing line. And I really do like that. I really do like how the fact that you just like put it right there on the shirt. You know what I mean? Just no F's given. You just bring it right to the table. And I gotta say, I like that.
Thank you.
But also as well, you actually have a new song out titled Smoke Break that actually dropped on 4/20, April 20th of this year. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners what's the story behind that phenomenal single, and of course, like, is it available on all streaming media platforms today to actually stream or add to our favorite playlists?
Yes, it is on all streaming platforms. You guys can actually go watch the video. The video is amazing on YouTube. Shot by, directed by Dak and Good Greed. Produced by 3D Smash. That song was a song. 3D Smash sent me a beat pack, and my brother Lunchbox. He's an emerging artist. Beautiful. He moved actually from the East Coast to San Francisco. I found him through Pat from Peacock, where I get my clothing. And she made the connection with us, and I was like, oh my gosh, like looking at his Instagram, I'm like, wow, he's good, and he's hungry, and I love his flow, I love his style, I love his sound. So we had to do something. I was like, you know what, we have to do a song. We have to put something together. It was something that was divine, that needed to happen. So we played around with the idea. He was like, hey, I have this song in mind. That reminds me of the beat that he said, I think like Smoke Break. And this is right around the time before 420. And I'm like, okay, he sent his verse or whatever. And I was like, okay, let me write something and let's just make it happen. Then before you know it, we were down at Heartzilla in San Francisco shooting the video. Believe it or not, we shot that video in less than 2 hours. It doesn't look like it was, but we shot it less than 2 hours. I appreciate everyone who came out on the set. I appreciate my girl Ari, Super Hella OMG, my makeup artist. It was just amazing. So, yeah, everybody needs a smoke break sometimes.
And also as well, I read something on Instagram about a Retrograde music video coming soon with a collaboration with Julian Navois. I was wondering, what can our listeners expect from this up and coming video release?
The video is actually on YouTube as well. It was a collaboration with Good Greed, that's Julian Navois, as well as directed by Jag. It was a song that I wrote back in 2018 or 19, I believe. And it was one of my older works, and I just decided to put it a little visual together. There's actually two, one that we just kind of threw together, and then the official one is available now on my YouTube. The song is also finally available on all streaming platforms. It originally was just available on SoundCloud, so you guys can now find it everywhere.
But I have to ask you, what is next for Alien Matt Kitty? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote while we stop you here live on 97.7 FM?
Well, first, I want to say thank you so much for having me. What's next for AMK? So right now, I'm in the process of writing. I am a mom, so I'm always doing the mom thing. My son's birthday's coming up. My birthday's coming up. So I'm always doing that first. But in the midst of everything, I'm constantly working. I have merchandise that's always being created. I just made a painting last night. As of now, I am trying to put together my first full body of work. I think it's time for a full project. I've been dropping singles. I'm also managing my father's catalog as well, so I'm just trying to keep the balance here with my music and drop. But my next single that I will be putting out is called Issues. That is also produced by Nicotine as well, and we're in the process of the brainstorming idea of the music video. So that's going to definitely be the next thing. Everybody's been asking me for it. I'm ready to give it to you guys. I just want to make sure my creative process is there. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's always listening. Anybody who's listening right now, no matter what, I am the walking product of never giving up. My mom's death anniversary is coming in July, and my dad's death anniversary is coming in September. So I do this in honor of my family to keep the legacy going on. Shout out to my little sister, Aja. I love you so much. And I just want everybody to just keep doing what they do. Just vibe out. Come check out my Instagram, Alien Matt Kitty. You guys have anything on your mind, DM me, and just create and just be who you are at all times as best as you can be.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Alien Matt Kitty, thank you so much for just taking the time out of your busy evening and sliding in to the 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM airwaves. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege to welcome such a talented hip-hop MC like yourself. And hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon as well.
Oh, definitely. I would love to come out there to Canada and show you guys some love. Thank you so much, DJ Immortal. I truly appreciate you.
You are most certainly welcome, and I appreciate you as well. You have yourself a wonderful night out there in California, and you already know we're going to keep your music spinning right here on 97.7.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You as well.